A blessed day, learners. It's me, Teacher Lumaban. If you are new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe. Hit the notification bell to become updated in my videos. Our topic this time is to screen and select the best product that will meet the market need in recognizing a potential market. I hope you learned something and enjoy this video. Please share it with your friends to also learn about this topic. Be safe and God bless you always.
Commit your way to the Lord, trust also in him, and he shall bring it to pass. Psalm 37 verse 5.
Do you know that most successful entrepreneurs have developed the skills in screening and selecting the best product that will meet the market need with the right product at the right time? The old saying that timing is everything is true in entrepreneurship. The ability of the entrepreneur to identify new products or trends can accelerate the success of the financial potential of the business. They develop the skills because of the continuous practice or following some factors in screening and selecting the best product. Following some factor help the entrepreneur to easily identify the best product for the market, which means they can easily identify what is the market need. Meeting the market need must be based on an accurate assessment of market needs, wants, and expectation. An entrepreneur creating new product concept and marketing system must properly position the product to generate interest among its distributor. Screening and selecting the best product to meet the market need should be a high priority to catch the product trend. Mahalaga ito kasi kung mali ang result ng assessment ay maling product ang maibibigay ng entrepreneur. Kung maling product ang maibibigay ng entrepreneur sa market, ibig sabihin hindi niya na meet yung need ng market at may posibilidad na hindi ito tangkilikin ng market. Kung hindi ito tangkilikin ng market, hindi kikita ang entrepreneur. To be accurate na ma-assess ang market needs, wants, and expectation, may mga factors na dapat i-consider ang entrepreneur. Una ang viability, sunod ang profitability, at ang sunod ay ang customer requirements. Ito yung mga factors na dapat i-consider in screening the proposed solution para makuha natin yung accurate assessment of market needs, wants, and expectation. Let us first discuss the viability of the factors to consider in screening the proposed solution. What is viability? The product that has a good performance and can be recommended to others to be purchased is called viability. Its popularity spread naturally to the market that needs or wants the product. The product that both initiates sales and generates free advertisement to the user. Ang viability po ay yung isang product mo, hindi mo na kailangan mag-advertise kasi ang gumagamit dito ang mag-advertise na ng product mo kasi na-satisfy mo sila. Pwede na itong i-post sa social media nila or sabihin sa kanilang mga kaibigan o pwede din idaan sa text messages or pwede din i-recommend sa mga taong nakikita nila na kailangan ng product mo. Yan ang kagandahan ng viability. Kasi no need mo na siya kailangan i-market kasi ang mga gumagamit ng product ang magmamarket ito. Kaya nag-generate siya ng free advertisement. There are 6 steps to determine the viability. First, determine the target market. Second, understand the needs of the market. Third, define the value proposition. Fourth, offer up a core set of features for the minimum viable product. Next is build the minimum valuable product prototype. Next, get the minimum viable product in the market. That is the 6th step to determine the viability. The first step to determine the viability is to determine the target market. It is necessary to recognize who that product will serve is sufficient for the first step. As you conduct more market research and begin segmenting the market, it will discover the initial hypothesis may change. Establishing clear market personas to describe the market adds a human element to the design process and gives the product team a better understanding of who exactly the product for. Some characteristics you should include in the personas are market demographics, behavior patterns, motivation, and goals. You'll want to be as detailed as possible since these fictional personas will serve as representation of the real user who will end up using the product. After identifying a core set of market to the product, the next step is to understand their needs. Understanding the needs of the market is essential to comprehend if the product will satisfy the demand of the target market. Whether you call it pain points or market needs, the underlying principle is the same. The success of the product in the market will depend on its ability to address the undeserved needs of the target market. Because the product will be compared to existing solutions, it will make more sense to try and break into a market where the customer needs aren't adequately met. A good market opportunity exists when the product is able to create value for the market.
We've already discussed how the product will be compared to existing market competitors. A value proposition refers to the value an entrepreneur promises to deliver to the market. A clear value proposition helps distinguish the product from others in the market by outlining the product plan to meet the need of the market. Having a clear value proposition helps distinguish the product from others in the market by outlining exactly how the product plans to meet market needs better than the alternatives. It may uncover a handful of unmet market needs during your conversations with the target market, but it may not be feasible to try and go after the entire list. The value proposition offers guidance for the product strategy by forcing to pick a clear set of pain points to address. How will the product do a better job at meeting these needs compared to the competition? What unique features do it offer in order to add more value and delight customers? Why should the customers pick your products over others? The goal in this step is to iterate until you have a minimum viable product that your market agree is viable. The purpose is to iterate until the market agrees on the minimum viable product. A well-defined feature set to show the market helps validate what core functionality that the market value and acts as a safeguard against spending considerable time into developing a product that the target market needs or don't like. During the process you may discover that The market really value an important piece of functionality that's currently missing in the minimum viable product. They included an extra feature in the minimum viable product that the market don't particularly utilize. Don't be intimidated by the word prototype. The minimum viable product doesn't have to be a fully fleshed out product, since product fidelity and interactivity will vary for each business idea. The minimum viable product prototype will act as a representation of the finished product without requiring to completely build the final product. The minimum viable product prototype exists to help test the hypothesis by offering market an iteration of the product to interact with and offer feedback on. For example, having a mock-up of an app's interface, like a wireframe, is just as viable as building the actual app itself. At the end of the day, it's about staying lean, so we can easily react to the feedback we receive from customers. It isn't very efficient to invest considerable time and effort into building a finished product if you have to drastically change the product or pivot down the road. The sixth step to determine the viability is getting the minimum value product in the market. Once the iteration of the minimum value product is satisfactory, it is time to test in with the target market. The feedback received will be used as contributory in guiding the direction of the product. The integrity of the data is essential in this final step. From the start, use only elicit feedback from people who fit the criteria of the target market. If not careful, it could risk iterating the product in the wrong direction to meet the needs of the market who might not necessarily be in the market for the product. To prevent this, consider designing a survey or questionnaire to make sure it's identifying research participants who more closely fit the ideal market persona. The actual test of the minimum value product in with the target market should incorporate a variety of qualitative and quantitative questions. Open-ended questions are more helpful in soliciting constructive feedback than questions that can be easily answered with a yes or no response. Of course, it should be careful and ensure it will not asking leading questions, since they can prime the users to give a particular answer. At the end of each test, be sure to look at both the positive and negative feedback received and take notice of any patterns in the responses and behaviors of each user who interacted with the product. Reflections, pivots, and iterations in determining the viability. The overall process for achieving product market fit is an ongoing process. It may find that the initial assumptions about the product, the market opportunity, or even the target market may not hold true after each iteration of the lean product process. As long as it stays persistent and receptive to the feedback of the market, it will be on the right track to developing a product with strong market opportunity. Once it determined that the product has achieved adequate product market fit, the next logical step is to figure out a viable go-to-market strategy and get the product in front of as many customers as possible. The next factor we will discuss in screening the proposed solution is the profitability. Profitability. Conducting a product profitability analysis forecasts the profitability of the new product that is planning to market. It allows the entrepreneur to isolate and solve issues that can affect the profit margins by proving essential knowledge to adjust the product to maximize profitability. There are 3 keys to analyze the profitability of the proposed solution. The first key is to determine the true cost of production. The second key is to test the market. The third key is to find the safe spot. The first key is to determine the true cost of production. The true cost of production is essential to involve all the cost of getting the product into the custody of the customer. There are a handful of things you must take into account before launching your business. The first involves the cost in getting the product into the hands of the customer. As an extremely basic example, consider the case of someone who makes yarn-based crafts as a small side business. She might pay $5 for 2 balls of yarn, from which she creates an item that she sells for $35. The ultimate profit, $30, is impressive for a hobbyist, but not particularly significant in the greater financial scheme of things. Now apply the same logic to goods, whose production is more extensive. A company that makes t-shirts is paying for more than just the cost of the material. Most likely, it has to employ people with access to equipment, which in turn is kept in a building, which in turn requires electricity to operate, and so on. One of the biggest mistakes of an entrepreneurs make is to not account for the time they spend working. Eventually, you need to hire someone to take on your role that will increase your cost. Bigger profits require bigger outlays in terms of initial investment. As explained on Entrepreneur, running a business comes with many potential costs. The second key is to test the market. Testing the market is about determining the customers that are willing to pay for the price of the product. It is a wise course of action to consult with family, friends, and acquaintances who have prior knowledge of similar products. It might begin as simply as drawing upon your own experience as a customer, putting yourself in the shoes of someone who might be interested in the product you intend to sell. Consulting with family, friends, and acquaintances who have prior familiarity with the product is also a good course of action. While not quite on the level of goose walk, a certain amount of this will require going with your gut. And as a general rule, the smaller the business, the truer this will be. But prices cannot be pulled out of thin air. The third key is finding the safe spot. Now let's say that the entrepreneurs have taken action. Make a decision that will help the product enter into the market without losing its profitability. It can be the price of the products that are too little to recover the cost and reasonable price to pay. Someplace between a price that is too little to recover costs and a price that is too much for any practical customer to pay lies the perfect midpoint. It's up to the entrepreneur to find it. The importance of being aware of competitor pricing does not end once it is set up in the shop. In fact, it's only just begun. To truly compete is to engage in a monthly, weekly, daily, hourly cycle of awareness. Profitability is about knowing the costs of doing business. It is obtaining accurate pricing for the production, shipping, and other costs involved in manufacturing a product. Keep prices on the competition, and aside from the necessary crunching of numbers, gain a feel for the market. The process is continuous, which is to say that it begins before a business is to bring into operation, and never really stops, so long as the operation continues to function. The last key that we will discuss is the customer requirement. Customer requirement is a characteristic or specification that should be available in a product for it to be considered desirable by the market. The product may require both functional and non-functional. It can be documented directly or collected by a business analyst or market research team. This documentation is analyzed to identify what is a customer wants or needs. Furthermore, There are 3 levels of customer requirements. The first is must-have. The second is satisfiers. And the third is delighters. The first customer requirement is must-have. Must-have, it is the basic requirements expected by the market that will be appreciated if fulfilled. However, the market will show dissatisfaction if the demand is not met. These are the bare minimum requirements expected by the customers. If fulfilled, customers will not show any special appreciation, but if not fulfilled, the customer will show dissatisfaction. The customers do not explicitly express their desire for these, but expect it to be understood. For example, in a restaurant, the customer will feel that it is imperative to have a restroom in a decent restaurant where families or people from business organizations come to dine. The next customer requirement is satisfier. Satisfier is about the expression of the market desire explicitly. The market would appreciate it more if their expectation exceeded their basic requirements. There are the requirements that customers express their desire for explicitly. If you offer better or more of these satisfiers, then the customers will appreciate it more and will be more satisfied. For example, the assortment of desserts in a buffet, the customers might feel that they are entitled to at least 2 as they've paid heavily for the buffet, and will be happier if they get 4. The last custom requirement is delighters. Delighters are a bonus, extras, or add-on to the product requirements. The absence of this characteristic is unnoticeable and cannot dissatisfy the market. Nevertheless, it will increase market satisfaction significantly if added to the product. These are the extras or the add-ons. The absence of these will not leave the customer dissatisfied. In fact, the non-appearance of these characteristics might not even be noticeable. But adding these would increase the customer satisfaction and will leave them delighted. For example, you order a set of tea in a restaurant and get complimentary fresh strawberries. Some considerations to meet the market need when selecting the best product. The first consideration is, would you acquire the product and use it yourself? The second consideration is, are you excited about this product? The next consideration is, would you promote the products to someone you know? Another that needs to consider, is the product needed in today's market? And the last to be considered, is the product sellable for the next several days or several months or several years? Always remember the solution to having a successful product that will meet the market need is to know your products and to believe in that product that you are selling. If you do not believe in the products yourself, then you probably won't be successful at selling it. Keep brainstorming, and you'll find a product or product line that meets both the needs of your target market and your ability to locate it, purchase it, and resell it. I hope you enjoyed and learned something new about our topic on screen and select the best product that will meet the market need in recognizing a potential market. If you learned something in this video, please give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to share this video with your friends to also learn about this topic. If you have comments, questions, and suggestions, you can leave a message in the comments section below. Thank you very much for watching my videos, hoping that we meet again in my next blog, and God bless you always.